we can't walk that fast.
No. Where's he going?
I don't know.
Okay, the hearing was completely... Couldn't even hear what he was saying, really. He has to be here.
That courtroom was so noisy this morning.
That was terrible. So what, we have to go in here now or something? What is this? What's this? What are you doing? What's going on here?
Come on in.
We had already said we don't object to doing
What the heck is this one now? Alright, well I was talking to the DA. I actually saw the DA out in the hall and I asked him, why are you throwing the book at Lane? And he goes, well,
Alright. I've got full iPhone. Got myself on them, right? Yep. Whatever happened with that
Thank God he didn't have a PA on
Portland,
his car.
here's your here's a Willamette Week reporter.
Maybe lady.
Did you get what happened in the second courtroom?
Sorry?
Did you get what happened in the second courtroom?
I did not, so that's why I wanted to kind of...
Yeah, the second courtroom, they set the trial time, and there's the John Coffey, the DA.
Yeah.
And
Is he his lawyer?
his lawyer is the guy in the white shirt, and the prosecutor's the guy in the green there. It's interesting actually. So they asked that he should get to go back to the board meetings. But the judge had no information about the case. Zero. Didn't have.
The judge had no information.
No information on the case. I'm not sure why they moved the hearing from the first courtroom to the second courtroom.
Yeah, because you guys kind of slipped off. I'm like,
yeah, right.
I'm not sure if I should just go.
It's totally confusing.
Right. They moved it.
It's kind of weird.
They moved it from one courtroom to another courtroom. I could barely hear the first one. But
I couldn't either. It just
yeah.
like
Well, he wanted to add 11 more charges because they didn't take the plea deal to a total of 35.
So just make sure I got everything.
So that meant that he had to, for some reason, that meant he had to go to the other courtroom. I'm not
So
exactly.
he went to a second courtroom.
Right.
And then what?
And after a long delay, the judge didn't come out for 40 minutes or so. She asked about the case, but she has no information on the case. Knows nothing about the case. He is getting his computer and his phone back.
He's getting it. And
yeah.
the judge just said that. Oh wow.
Yeah, he's got the release form. Yeah, apparently the prosecutor didn't object.
That was one of the little crazier parts of this whole thing.
Yeah, right. Was getting that back, and the defense attorney did ask that he be allowed to go to the board meetings, but the judge, having no information about the case, said we'll go with the original pretrial arrangement, which is no board meetings.
So no board meetings as of now.
As long as Roberta's there, he can't go.
So they're sticking with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Sticking with no board meetings.
Yeah. But once again, she doesn't know anything about the case, so she didn't feel qualified to make any other ruling based upon her lack of information.
What about that whole thing about not being able to contact anyone, then trying to pick like one person?
That didn't come up. That will come up in the trial.
What did you say about?
Yeah. See ya.
Good luck.
Well, we're trying. I know we got some tough competition out there with you guys. We're actually nice people, really. We're not as bad as we. Yeah, huh? We're not mean people or trying to hurt anybody. This is the prosecutor.
Look, I don't care what you do in your First Amendment stuff online. I couldn't care less.
Okay.
No. Don't put that on.
That was a district attorney there at the end of the film, and he requested I not record it, so I turned it off. Actually, the most interesting thing about the hearing was the conversation I had with the district attorney. I mean, when we got out of the hearings, the first hearing, I know it was both hearings actually, we were done, and we were walking out, and the DA was waiting for another case, I guess. And so I walked up to him and started talking to him. And to my surprise, he actually started talking to me. Let me tell you that he recognized me. Obviously, he was looking at me very closely in the second courtroom. And one of the issues apparently is the DAs requesting the defense provide them with a list of their prospective witnesses plus whatever other material needs to be presented before the case goes to trial. And the prosecutor said, well, we're going to want to talk to some of those witnesses ourselves. And he looks right around and looks right at me. So obviously I knew he knew who I was. But we did talk, and you know, I don't represent Lane. I'm not his attorney, but I tried to explain to him that it's really, you know, Lane is not a dangerous man. There's just no way you can really do that. And his line is, of course, law is law is law. Well, when we got outside there, I saw him twice. Once it was in the court and then outside. When we continued the conversation outside there, and once again, he said, well, the law is the law. He was told not to call, and then he called, and that's the law. And I'm like, well, there's also other laws involved here, like the First Amendment. He's trying to get information as a reporter, and she's using a local law to prevent her from having to answer that. And I said to the man, so what's more important, the First Amendment of the Constitution or some local law that prohibits people from asking questions? That's up to the jury. Is the Constitution take precedence over a local law, which in this case is being used to prevent freedom of the press? They're trying to present it as trying to prevent harassment, but when you look at the text messages, there's no harassment there. It's all questions. And she doesn't want to answer those questions. And as a matter of fact, she's never answered any of his questions, ever. So those of us that understand the law know this is a case of freedom of press being squashed, trying to be perverted into a case of telephonic harassment. I mean, they've constructed it in such a way that you can say, yes, he was told not to do this and then he did this. Does that deserve prison? You know, I don't see any jury buying this nonsense, okay? I really just don't see it ever happening.
Well, we had a problem last night where I was coming home, and here's what happened.
9517, customer needs some help with the 786 line. Okay, what can I